Hey everybody, it's Dina Rico with the Creativity Cave, and I'm super excited to stamp with you today. I love stamping. You know that's true. I have a really fun technique for you using plastic wrap and ink. It's super easy. It might be a little messy. It's not too bad because I don't like messy techniques, but this one's pretty fun. You're going to need some plastic wrap. And really, any old plastic wrap will do. This is like I'm on my last little bit of this, so hopefully I've got enough for this next card. If not, I've got some in the waiting in the wings. But it's a really easy technique. I'm going to use some of our brand new InColors. These go live next Tuesday, May 3rd. Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and I've got two different ways that I did it. And you can kind of decide which one you like. They both give you a little different results. The same idea, but a little different results. So I hope you're going to like it. I'm going to start. I'm going to start by protecting my work surface with some paper. I've got just some scratch paper here. And then I'm going to pull out some of this cling wrap. Ooh, like I said, this is pretty much it right here. So finish that off. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to put ink down. Now the difference is how you put the ink down. You can use re-inkers, and this will give you a much more intense, vivid colored background. It will also use a lot of ink. And so I guess it's not very efficient use of your ink. But the preferred method I like, because it's not quite as vibrant, is to take your ink pads and put them directly on the plastic. Okay, now we're really working to cover a space that's about 6 by 6 in size. I've cut some 6 by 6 paper, and so that's kind of what I'm going at. So this will be a little bigger than that, and that's not a big problem because we're going to cut it down anyway. I'm going to use Orchid, Oasis, and Parakeet Party for my main colors. Okay, so I'll dab that on there, and I want a little more of the parakeet, as you can probably tell. Now I wanted to add some Starry Sky to this, but I didn't want to dab it in the midst of this other ink because I thought that would kind of mess up my ink pen. I didn't want to do that. So I'm just going to put not really drops, just like I'm squeezing and touching. Okay, so that's not really whole drops. It's squeezing and touching. That doesn't sound cringy at all. Don't worry. It's crafting. It's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Stampin' Spritzer and spritz some water on here. And you want a pretty decent amount, so I'm going to spritz as much as I can. And since I've been doing this for several tries, I'm running out of water, so I might have to go refill this. I'll be right back. Could I have refilled the spritzer before the video? Yes. Did I? No. Okay, so again, I'm going to spritz a fair amount of water on here because we want the colors to be able to move and mix a little bit. And I can see this is good. My ink pads are no longer like solid ink, so I'm liking that. I'm going to take this. This is some pearlescent paper actually, and this is in our catalog. And I'm just going to set this on top like so. Okay, and I just kind of pressed that in. Now I'm going to flip this over because I want to kind of scrunch and scooch. Those are my official terms for what I'm doing. Scrunch and scooch this around because what I want is to get kind of some cool texture on here. Okay, now here's the hardest part of the whole process. By the way, this is going to curl up. So what I have done is just put something on there kind of light. You don't want to like smoosh it down. Like I wouldn't put like a magazine or anything on top of here. But this, my little take your pick tool, is going to keep this from like curling because it literally curled all the way up. So anyway, I think that this is going to be great. Okay, now, next up, now you have to let that sit and dry completely. Okay, so now here's one that I have sat and let dry completely. And before you think, oh, I'll just take my heat tool to it, let me just tell you a couple things about that. First of all, it will melt the plastic. Even when you think you're being careful, it will melt the plastic. So don't use your heat tool. And then when you peel it off, then you have all this super cool texture. Look at how fun that is. Now at this point, because it's mostly dry, and by mostly, I mean like 90%, 95%, I can see there's just a couple spots on here. I will dry those with my heat tool because, like I said, the majority of the drying has been done. And that's just to make sure I can put my card together. Okay, so this is dry, and look at how cool that looks. I'm going to hit the back of this in an attempt to try and unwarp it a little bit. I don't know how successful that will be, but maybe a little, because we want to make a card out of this, right? Okay, so there's that. Now, I mentioned that there's another way to do this, right? So this was putting the ink pad on that plastic wrap. Now I did another version where I did ink drops. So I dropped re-inkers, probably 6 or 8 dots of each color on here. And then I did the same process, set it in, turned it over, squooshed, personal stamping term, squoosh. And then you can see this is much more vibrant. But what happens is you lose kind of some of the detail because there's so much ink and it just kind of gets absorbed into the paper. So this one I don't like as much just because it's a lot. It's a lot of ink and you lose some of that fun texture detail. It's still pretty and it's cool and I can use this for something, but it's just not quite as awesome as the first version. Okay, so I liked the first version. All right, so let's take and make a card out of this. I mean, it's still cool. Like, you keep this and do something with it, and you can see a lot of the ink kind of spilled over my paper. By the way, for this piece, I used white shimmer paper, and this piece I used the pearlescent paper, so shimmery white versus pearlescent. I got to say I like the pearlescent. It seems to hold the texture a little better than the shimmery white where it just kind of bled. I've also tried watercolor paper, and I find watercolor paper is kind of the same. It will leave a texture, but it still kind of disperses a bit more than I want. So that's what I like about this shimmery paper, is it does hold the texture a little better. Okay, now I'm gonna set this aside, and you can reuse your plastic wrap, by the way. You just want to make sure you're using similar colors. So I would not throw like some light pink in there because you'll get kind of some ugliness. All right, so I am going to start with a card base of my Orchid Oasis. I have to think about that every time because I want to say Orchid Opulence, and I know in my heart that is wrong. That is a color from a very long time ago. If you've been around Stampin' Up! For a long time, you know that one maybe. It's pretty old. So I've got my Orchid Opulence, oh my gosh, swear jar, bad Dina. Orchid Oasis card base. I've got a layer of Starry Night, which I just love these two together. And then I've taken my first piece and cut this down. So this one was one I did beforehand so that I would be able to let it dry appropriately. And so I cut this down to 3 7/8 by 5, or no, 3 3/4 by 5. And then this layer is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So I'll take that layer and adhere it to my card. And I was thinking that the most awesome stamp set to do this with would be the new Wisteria Wishes. So this is one of our new bundles from the catalog that starts on May 3rd. And here we go. I'm going to take and use some of the stamped images, but I also love the dies that come in here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dies, and we'll put this all together here in a sec. So I've die cut the stem image, and then I did one more, and from that I just cut off So let's see. Here it is again. I just cut off this extra piece so I could tuck that in and have a little bigger branch. That's what I'm trying to say. And I did this out of the Pearlescent paper. And so then I die cut two of the Wisteria pieces, one of the bigger one and one of the smaller one. And I'm going to take some of my Stampin' mini dimensionals, I guess, and just pop this up. You could also die cut this with a piece of the foam adhesive sheet, but of course I didn't think about that until after I did it, as is so often the case in my life. I have these really brainiac ideas after I've already done the work. Okay, so that looks great. Now there's an image in here, kind of a detail image of the Wisteria, and I'm going to take that and use a little bit of my Orchid Oasis ink and stamp right on there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my handy dandy mini grid paper. This is so handy, by the way. If you don't have mini grid paper, I like it a lot. One of the things I love about it is you can whip it in and out of your space pretty quickly and easily, and change it in and out if you need to. And also it's it's perfect for your Stamparatus as well as just for stamping. So I've inked this up with my, oh no, I have Starry Sky in here. I don't want that. I actually want my Orchid Oasis. Okay, let me clean that off quick. So Orchid Oasis ink, and I'm just going to stamp on this in a couple spots. Now, I looked up Wisteria because I'm not a green thumb at all. There's several people that can attest to this. I don't understand plants. Like, I don't get it. You plant them, they grow. Like, what more is there? Apparently, there's a bit. But I'm just going to dry this so that I don't smear the ink. But Wisteria is beautiful. And I remember now, after I looked it up, I remember we saw this in Hawaii when we were in Maui last year. And I remember because the trees were huge. I mean, it was really cool to see. So I really liked them. So I was pretty jazzed when I realized that's what this set was. Okay, so now I've done these two pieces. I'm going to undo my mini backings. And then they line right up together. They totally line up. So like that piece is going to line up directly with the top, and then this bottom is going to line up with the bottom, and some of the middle pieces line up. And what's cool about this is you can do it in two colors. So like if I wasn't using this pearlescent paper, because I thought that would be pretty on top of this, I could stamp like the detail in the Starry Night on Starry Night cardstock, and then the background could be the Orchid Oasis for, two different colors. But for this, I just liked doing the white because I really wanted to highlight this cool background that we made. So there we go. I will take and adhere this with, probably my other really handy dandy tool. This is a silicone craft sheet, and it is like the workhorse of my little collection of tools. The reason is because it, you can just rub that off once it dries. It's just really handy. What I use it for is attaching pieces with glue like this. So intricate dies. And I love it because it's very easy to use. I can attach an intricate die like that very quickly and easily without much work. And I don't get ink all over everything. And then this, I can just rub off that excess when I'm done. When it's dry. Kind of like paste on your hand when you're a kid. I may or may not have done that as a child. I can neither confirm nor deny. Okay, so there it is. That looks nice. Now let's take our Wisteria where we added some little touches of purple, and same thing, get a little bit more glue here, and we'll attach that. I like using the sponge to kind of spread out that adhesive. Sponge daubers work as well, and it just allows you to spread it out without getting big globs of of glue on things, which of course you wouldn't want. Ooh, I do have, however, a little glue dot or a dimensional backing stuck in there. Ha, got it. Okay, so I'm just going to attach that hanging off our branch right there. And then I'm going to put, I had another one that I did ahead of time. I'm going to put another one on here and have it going up just a little higher up in here. Okay, so there is my wisteria hanging down. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. I don't know if you can really appreciate how nice this looks on camera. All right, now I want to stamp my sentiment, and there's some really nice sentiments that come in this set, and they so go. So this one says hang in there, like, oh, that's pretty. Okay, so I'll stamp that in Starry Sky, so it's the darker color. Look at that, so pretty. And then I will attach this to my card. Now you can do a whole lot of embellishing with this. There's lots of options. But what I think I'm going to do for mine is some kind of tried and true. I'm going to pull out my my Elegant Gems. These are really pretty, and there's kind of some iridescent-y, pearlescent-y ones. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is take and just embellish with a few of these on here, just to kind of add a little pretty shimmer. There's a lot of shimmer on this card already, but this will just, I think, be nice to add these in here. And then as far as ribbon, I wouldn't mind putting some ribbon on, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not sure what the right thing is for the ribbon. We've got some new metallic ribbon, but I don't think that's quite right for this. So, I think maybe I might just do a little bit of linen thread, because I think that's kind of the right tone for this. So I'm going to double length this, so two pieces at once, and then I'll put these on here like so. There we go. So, oh, such a beautiful card. Now wait, there's more. So on the inside of our card, I'm going to add a piece of that pearlescent paper. So I've just trimmed this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I took some of the pieces that I cut off of this, and I'm going to adhere that along the side to decorate. And then that will kind of just coordinate with our beautiful card here. And then we'll just put this on the inside. Okay. So there you have it, friends. A really gorgeous card with all kinds of shimmer. So I hope you loved this. I am going to do a class with this bundle in May, so watch for that. If you haven't, give me the thumbs up. That makes me so happy with the YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel right here. If you would like this or any of the products that I used today to make this card, you can shop my online store starting May 3rd. And you will find these new goodies in our brand new catalog that launches May 3rd. If you need a catalog or have any questions, please feel free to drop me a comment in my video or email me. I am happy to help you. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.